Confronting Fate by Zana Wilder. Copyright 2024, Zana Wilder, all rights reserved.
Chapter 9. Liz. I stretch my arms out, groaning. Goddess, how much did I drink last night? I can't remember ever waking up with a hangover. Shifters don't get them, at least not normally. I peel my eyes open, and when I don't recognise the room, I sit bolt upright with a start. Where the hell am I? A quick glance around is enough to reinforce this is not my house. It's all old antique furniture and wood polish, not a piece of modern art in sight. Hell, I'm not even wearing my own clothes. A pit of dread gnaws in my stomach. I don't remember getting here, and I don't remember changing. I take some steadying breaths and force myself to look around more slowly. My clothes sit on an ancient-looking wing-backed chair, neatly folded. I definitely didn't do that. I quickly yank off the t-shirt I'm wearing and pull on my slightly grubby skirt and top. There's no sign of anyone else having spent the night in here. Glancing around surreptitiously, I take a deep sniff of the t-shirt. Tavey. It smells of Tavey. Relief washes over me. He wouldn't wish me any harm, would he? I mean, I was a bitch to him in club, and he deserved it, but I don't remember much more. The sound of a motorbike outside makes me start, and I peer out the window to see Tavey screech to a halt in a shower of gravel. Tavey gently takes my hand and explains about catnip, and I'm not really sure what to say. I'm shocked and furious and kind of numb, all in one tangled up mess. If Tavey and his friends weren't there, I could have been waking up somewhere very different this morning. Or maybe not waking up at all. My cougar still hasn't come around properly. Hell, she is going to be pissed. Tavey's kind enough to take me home, but I can't bring myself to talk. We sit in awkward silence for the whole drive. The question is on the tip of my tongue the whole way. Before I head inside, I have to ask him. I have to ask how he ended up in his shirt. His look of dismay is more than enough to be clear that he didn't take advantage. I should have known it. Relief floods over me, swiftly followed by guilt. I nearly apologise for asking, but enough crap has happened to me that the question seems justified, especially when I've no memory of it. I needed to know. I scoot away from the car, up the steps and into my house, slamming the front door. I lay my back on the cool wood, sliding down it until my bum hits the floor, and I bury my head in my hands. The tiled hall echoes with the slam, then the noise fades to utter silence. Suddenly, I feel very alone. And for once, it's the last thing I want. I yank the door back open, desperate to ask Tavey to come in to keep me company. His brake lights flash in the distance as he turns the corner and vanishes.
Chapter 10. Tavey. Looking after Liz when she needed it felt good, really good. But now my head is absolute mush. She sent my brain into a tailspin. My wolf wants to destroy the men who attacked her, and I'm, surprisingly, on board. I shouldn't have been disappointed that Lyle let them live, but I was. They're the scum of the earth. Damn it, Liz is a strong-willed, independent woman. They could have raped her, destroyed her sense of self. Hell, I still don't know how she's really doing. She was quiet when I took her home, and she's not opened up any more since. What they did was despicable, but I barely know Liz. So why are my insides turning out for her? A deep gnawing nauseousness hits me every time I think about what they tried to do. She can't be... No. Fated mates don't happen now, not with the Fade. And cross-species mating is frowned on, especially in our pack. I let out a sigh. It's probably just that the woman is an enigma rolled up in a hot little body, and that hot little body likes to tease me. That, and I'm on a long dry spell. Hi Liz, just wanted to check how you were doing.
I've been better. Kind of keeping to myself a bit.
I can take a hint. I'll leave you in peace.
No, I mean, I've been staying home. It's a bit lonely, really. What do people do if they're being boring and staying home?
You realise you're calling me boring? Did you forget about Netflix and chill?
Oh, now there's an offer.
Holy shit. I did not mean that as a suggestion, but... Pulling my helmet off, I run my hand through my hair, smoothing it best I can. Now that it's happening, I wish it was a proper date. I grab the pizza and bottle of wine from my motorbike lockbox and take Liz's steps 2 at a time. She answers the door in a skimpy red number. After a long moment, gaping at her, I shut my jaw with a clack. She's going to think I'm an imbecile. Liz pauses, twirling in the doorway, before grinning and dragging me inside. She plucks the wine from my slack fingers and cocks an eyebrow. She bends over, raking in a drawer to find a corkscrew. Shaking my head before she catches me staring at her ass, I busy myself with the oven. I found an amazing deli that does a fancy deconstructed pizza, some very luxurious toppings in separate little boxes, several different cheeses, fresh-baked pizza bases, some aperitifs and a couple of quaint desserts. It seemed suitably casual, and yet classy enough for tonight. I look up to see Liz watching me intently. Food deserves concentration. I grin at her, and she smiles before rubbing my back almost shyly.
Glad you can work the oven. I can't.
She glowers at it and hands me an almost overflowing glass. We settle in with the pizza and a glass of wine. I find myself relaxing quickly as we bicker over the movie choice. Of course she gets her way, but every time I look up, I catch her staring at me, and not the giant screen taking up most of her living room wall. Like what you see, Kitty? She scowls, and I love how cross she looks. I reach over, pulling her into me, and kiss the frown away, ignoring her hands as they swat at me. She giggles and reaches for my shoulders, holding me at arm's length.
You've spilled perfectly good wine.
She tuts, gesturing to herself. Her soaked dress clings to her boobs exquisitely. I guess it has to come off then. I grip the edge of it and give her a little inquiring look. She smiles, nods, and grabs at my top, whipping it over my head before I can think. Hell, she sure knows what she wants. Grinning, I pull her back to me, on top of my erection. Her legs wrap around my back and I growl. What do you want, Kitty? Show me.
I'd like some of this.
She traces her fingers over my chest before following them with her mouth.
And this.
Her teeth graze a nipple before she trails her fingers naughtily down my torso to my cock. Her hips start to rock up and down as she rubs herself against me. I grab her panties roughly and rip them off.
Those were my favourite.
Liz pouts dramatically. I catch her lower lip between my teeth before kissing her complaints away. They were very sexy, but you're sexier without them. I grab her arms and pull her down onto my chest so we're lying on the sofa. Her pussy nestles just over my dick and the minx teases me, moving her hips in little rotations over the head of my cock. She reaches down between us and slowly, teasingly undoes my belt buckle and my jeans zipper. Impatient, I stand in one smooth movement, lifting Liz up with me and between stolen kisses, slide out of my jeans and boxers. Time for me to take control again, little kitty. I growl, standing her up, flipping her around and placing her arms on the wall in front of her. Stay like that, baby. I tease her with my dick, making sure she's ready. So wet. Is that all for me? I don't wait for an answer, loving her gasp when I slide my whole length inside in one quick lunge. She tenses, trying to accommodate me. I pause, one hand holding her waist, the thumb of the other circling her clit, until she starts to move against me, her hands reaching back for me. No, hands on the wall. I place them back roughly. I pull out slightly and smack her bum. She gasps, and I pause a few seconds before doing it again. Her pussy clenches around me, and she moans. That's for flirting with Lyle and Gareth, I growl, bending her over further and smacking her ass once more. And that's for moving when I told you to stay. She lets out a quiet grumble, but leaves her hands braced against the wall. I take hold of her hips and move her up and down my length, loving her moans as I bury myself in her. Her breathing gets harsher, and my own climax builds with the rhythm. Grabbing her hair, I pull her head back, just as she gives a cheeky swivel of her hips. Her cry, as she climaxes, turns me on so much I can't hold back, and I ram myself into her. Coming with such ferocity, we slide down the wall and end up in a puddle on the floor.
Round 1. Tie.
Liz giggles, wriggling out from under me and cocking a cheeky eyebrow at me. I've never been so glad at the idea of a long night. I wake up just before dawn and gently extricate myself from Liz's arms. Sighing, I rub my eyes and dress quietly. We didn't ever specifically say it was just tonight, but hellfire. This is Liz. She's a cougar. I feel like a right ass, but I can't be with her. A cougar. A player. I have to leave now that I'm awake, before I change my mind. I slip my boots on and pull the door shut behind me, ignoring the knot in my stomach and my wolf's whining